Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Early morning hustle. Um, we're gonna do some really cool things today when it comes to working with time. There's this function called lubridate within the positron. So within R that we're going to learn about that allows us to work with data. Work with time data and work with date data. So if you think about it, like a date is like a specified delineation of time, today's the 1st of August, and then times like the actual measurement of how much time has passed. And so we're not going to cover all the elements of this package, but a good amount of it. Okay, a good amount of it. So I'm already in my package by clicking on positron. I didn't leave. And so if I go to videos, okay, video 5 through 8, we're going to now talk about working with time. Okay, I can go to my outline, do that. Visual, then outline, and then video 8. Okay, working with lubridate. Okay, so the function is called lubridate. Let's go ahead and load that in. Let's go ahead and load it in, lubridate. Okay, and we have this fake data set, okay, that we're going to work with. But when we look at it, I'm gonna go ahead and just run this. No, I think that it's automatically within Tidyverse, so you should have this package. If not, you know how to install it. So install lubridate. Pretty sure it's within the Tidyverse. Okay, comment below, let me know. So if you click here, you can see that all these variables, start date, start time, event, they're all treated as strings. That's not what we want. That's not what we want. We would want to modify this data in some way, shape, or form to adhere to the fact that this is a date and this is a date and time. Okay, a date and time. So how do we do that? So the first thing we're going to do is look at the start date and parse it into actual time related variable. The function that we're going to use is called YMD, year, month, date. So it has to be in this format. Okay, so let's actually take one step back and say event log $sign to gain access to, and then look at start date. You see that it's in year, month, date, year, month, date. So make sure that when you're working with this in the real world, you adhere to that pattern. There is modifications to this. If I do lubridate colon, if I do year, day, month, they do have that as well. But if you're going to use that, therefore adhere to that said specification on how you should provide the string. So with that being said, we run this and we see that now is no different, right? Date parse versus start date. But the thing is, if I were to now save this, I'm going to save this as data parsed, or let's do parsed df. Okay, and I run this and I look at it for the 4th column, it's no longer a string. Okay, so that's the functionality there. Okay, so that's year, month, date. We could also start looking at the other string where it says month, day, year. Okay, so it's in that format, but it also provides you the actual time. And as you can see, it needs to be in this format, and it doesn't have to be in army time, by the way. It does have to be army time, military time. So let's go ahead and do that. So this needs to be start time. And I'm going to call this parse to df, and then when I run this, I'm pretty sure that happens to some of you all too sometimes, right? So when I run, when I uncomment this and then run it, I'm creating a new variable in this data frame. Is that what I called it? I didn't put the df. So here now, it's treated as a POSIX CT. At the end of the day, that is a time-related, date and time-related data type within R. There's another one that's very similar. Whenever you see this type, that's how you know you're dealing with a time-related data set, a time-related variable. Okay? So that is the format for working with this function: month, day, year, HMS, hour, minute, seconds. So if you were to do lubridate, so you can see the other functions that are out there, lubridate, month, day, year, it's only that particular format. If it didn't have seconds or if it didn't have minutes, that's what you would provide. Okay. I have a hypothesis, or at least an idea regarding these dashes and this forward slash, and I think that I'm gonna just double check this. This is a learning moment. I think that you can specify the delimiter. I think that's a better way of articulating that thought. Delimiter, in that you can say, okay, maybe you would want it to be like your information is in a really funny format, and it's 05 greater than 03 greater than 2025. So May 5th, so May 3rd, 2025. I think we could have that. Let me just do a quick check. Year, month, day. Check the function. Okay, and it doesn't automatically give it to us here. But let's see if we go to help and see if that function comes up. YMD. Okay, help YMD. At least that element, it kind of eliminated it in a different way. Okay, these are the functions. I'm guessing no. So I guess you have to provide it. Well, no, I guess it automatically thinks. It gives it a guess on what the delimitation is. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, we tried. If someone finds out, you can just put it in the chat, but not chat in the comments. Okay, I don't mind going off script sometime. It's fine. So then here, once the string is converted into a date, you can now do some really gnarly things. So I have this data frame here. Let me uncomment this. Boom, boom. And then what I'm going to do is, once the date has been parsed as in YMD, I can extract various information, and you're going to see something very similar. See something very familiar from past videos, in the last two videos. So let's see this. Boom, and then boom. So I'm gonna get the week day of the actual of the date, and as well as the month. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this. So you can see it says it was a Monday, Friday, January, March, May. Okay, if label was not true, if this was gone, it would just provide the number. Okay, and then there's another one that's there. Let's say label is true. Autocomplete's not there. Control Z. We can say abbrev. I think it's abbrev. It's abbreviated. Okay, maybe that didn't land. That's fine. True. Oh, so I want to say false. I think it's false. Okay, so if I do this, is it really abbreviation? I don't think it's abbreviation fully. Let's just go to our handy dandy help. You do help YMD. Oh, we're already there. One of the arguments. That's interesting. Abbreviation is there. That is an argument, traditionally speaking. There. Save. I'm gonna find it. We're gonna find it. We're gonna make it work. Okay. So here, if we do here, I think this is autocomplete will work here. Yeah, that's what it is. And then if we do false, okay, and then run cell, you see now it provides the full month. Okay. Wow, that was fun. So if that's the case, I think that's pretty much it. That I want to do. Oh yeah, I want to show you one more thing. So if I'm gonna save this as another information, some more information, I'm gonna say, oh, I can pipe this. Let me pipe this. Let's do it that way. I'm gonna pipe this into class, and this is gonna provide you the type. It should provide you the type for each variable. So if I run this, for the entire data frame. So what I'll do is I just do glimpse then. And then what I'm trying to get you to see is that this is a factor. This is a factor. All right, let's say you don't. So if you don't believe me, let me make it even more easy or more convincing. So if I do tempt, or I say parsed 3df, and I do this, and then I run this, and then I actually extract out month, event month, you see it's treated as a factor, and it's actually specifying the levels. So January is less than February, February is less than March, March is less than April, so on. Okay, so that's what's going on here in terms of working with dates. If you have it as a label, it automatically turns it into a factor, and we can use what we learned in the previous videos regarding factors on this data. Okay. All right. So measuring time span. So this is a nice little, some nice functions. So we have two dates. Okay. And notice that I'm automatically specifying, at least I'm automatically converting them into date variables. Okay, so if I do date 1 minus date 2, and I print time span, right, I can then, let me comment this out. Okay, when I do this, I now should be able to see the difference. What did I do? Oh, so I think that, let's see. This needs to be 1, and then let's see. Okay, so that was a little bit of humbling. So I provided the wrong code initially. So what needs to happen is we need to be running a function called interval, because we're just trying to find time in between these two dates. Not intercal, but interval. So then we do that, and it should say 46 days when I press print. Okay, so 46 days. Oh, didn't even show the time. It shows just the 2 times. Okay, and so then what I'm gonna now do is I'm gonna say, I'm gonna turn this into, I'm gonna use as dot duration. Okay, and when I run this now, this should give me the time in between those two dates. So there we go, in terms of seconds. Okay, so then if I switch the time, it should be positive. Let's run this. It's positive now. Okay, and so let's say you want to create a duration of 3 days. If you just press 3, okay, and then you go ahead and just uncomment this. Okay, then print 3 days. Okay, we'll get those 3 days as within the vector. Okay, tell me seconds within 3 days. Kind of interesting. All right, so then I went into the help to get more help on this, so you can see what is happening in terms of duration. You can specify the days are in time, the amount of time. So that's kind of cool. Last but not least, this allows you to calculate the actual date and time of the current moment. And then this is the functionality behind that. This is the code. In terms of time, I don't think working with time data is pretty gnarly in R or in general, because you have to be very, very sensitive to the nuance of it and what you're trying to calculate. So that's pretty much it for this video, and I hope that you're able to gain some insight. Thank you.